realtors and real estate agents, we are the leader of the business relationship between us and the client. And as the leader, it is on us to teach the other side principles that are going to allow them to come to self-discovery and allow them to understand what they truly want. Because buying a home and selling a home is a very emotional process. And so it's our responsibility to take the emotion out of it. But sometimes what we do is we tell the client rather than show them. And by illustrating some basic principles for them and helping them learn these principles, we can do something that's even better than telling them, which is allowing them, giving them the tools to come to the self-discovery of all of these different principles. So this is Danny Gould, Selling Silicon Valley, Legendary Agents. Where am I going with this? Because obviously this is highly conceptual, but this is what I want to drive home, is we are in a market right now where there is a lot of chaos, yes? And so one of the things that we can do is teach them a basic principle of chaos creating opportunity. This is one example, one of many examples where we can teach the client principles. And so the way that we do that is very simple. We get ahead of it. We get ahead of it. Instead of hiding behind or hiding from the fact that like shit's going down right now, we should get in front of it. And by doing that, we can teach them certain principles. So for example, you would bring it up to your client, hey, Mr. Buyer, Mrs. Buyer, like, have you seen everything that's going on with the economy right now? SV Bank, all that stuff. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Allow them to share all of these thoughts with you. And you gotta act as a quasi-therapist there with them, sitting down or at a showing or whatever. But the point is that they're thinking it, so it's up to you to get ahead of it. Now, this is where we teach them the principle, which is they're gonna say, oh yeah, things are going down or whatever. And regardless of what they say, you say, I completely understand it. And to be frank with you, I'm actually really excited right now because there's one thing that I know: chaos creates opportunity. And then that is the setup for you going into the objection handler, where we do a couple of things. We talk about opportunity that's in the marketplace right now. If a lot of other buyers are thinking like them, what does that mean for them? Less competition. We also talk to them about rates, if they're financing, obviously. And we explain to them, because of all the things that are going on right now, there's a really good chance that the Fed is going to continue to lower rates over time to stimulate consumer spending until we get out of this rut. And so if that happens over time, then what do you think that's going to do to your competition over time? That's probably going to increase it, yeah? So would it be better to buy then or better to buy now? Also keep in mind that chaos is temporary and eventually buyers are going to snap out of it. So would you rather buy in chaotic times where a lot of buyers are thinking like you and wanting to kind of remove themselves from the marketplace? Or do we want to get ahead of it and go into dive in? When others are zagging, we zig, yeah? And if we teach them that principle, we can come back to it. And that's the important thing, because in the moment they might agree, but then a few weeks go by and you find the perfect property and they're about to write, and then they come back to those fears because it's human nature. It's natural for us to like continually like second guess and reevaluate and, I don't know if we should do this, whatever. So in that moment, we come back, hey, you know what? I understand, and I completely understand how you feel. And a lot of clients who have felt the same way. Remember what we talked about a few weeks ago. Remember what we talked about, the opportunity. That's okay that you don't want to write this offer now, but is that something that you're really willing to do? Are you really willing to walk away from this opportunity that you've been presented with? Do we think that this opportunity is going to last forever? And come back to that principle. If we can do that, and by the way, this is one example. There are a myriad of examples, but this is just one, especially now in the market that we're in. If we don't do this, your clients are going to second guess. And I know this sounds probably very familiar, but like, how many of your clients have ghosted you recently, or just like stepped away silently, just like a silent erosion of the relationship, the business relationship with them? They've been thinking it for a long time. So it's up to you to get ahead of them and teach them those principles that are going to help them stay in motion. This is Danny Gould, Selling Silicon Valley. Stay legendary, everybody.